You're listening to the Russ Sports Podcast with host Jason Collins. Tonight's show is brought to you by Smackin' Wings and Things, Sears Hometown Store of Russellville, and Williams Snack Shack. Enjoy the show. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Russ Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Collins. I'm here with Brandon Warner, and I'm here with a special guest sitting in for Lucas Branch, Keith Zhang. Keith, say what's up to him.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, you already know, man. Me and Keith go way back, man. 7th, 8th grade, Russellville Middle School, Russellville Junior High. You already know, man. And then we got Brandon from Pottsville High. Brandon, say what's up to him.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, you already know. Brandon's one of our best analysts we got. He's here with us. We got Keith. So, guys, let's just get started into some college football. Man, college football was crazy this weekend. I think one of the games we got to talk about first is Indiana. Number 9, Indiana, shuts out Michigan State 24-0. So, is Indiana a threat to Ohio State for the throne of the Big Ten? And, Brandon, I'm going to let you start it off.
I don't think so. I mean, they look really good. I think it was just because they have a lot of upperclassmen, and so without the spring practice and training and stuff, they were able to still play at a high level because of the chemistry and being there for a couple of years. But they do look good. They do look like a top 25 team. But I think in a regular year and without COVID, they'd probably just be like 20 to 25 range, but I think Ohio State will handle them.
What do you think, Keith?
I think they're doing pretty good right now. However, we need to look at the flip side. Ohio State and Justin Fields right now is looking pretty much unstoppable. So I'm not sure if Indiana can handle them.
Yeah, man, I don't know about it. They've been on a hot streak ever since they started. Their quarterback looks like he's really getting into the groove of things. I just don't think they have the recruiting power. I just don't think they have the star power this year to try to dethrone somebody who's such a college football powerhouse like Ohio State. But we'll see when we get there. Maybe they'll get there, and maybe it might be Wisconsin. But we'll get onto that later on. But number 2, Notre Dame beats tough test Boston College 45-31. Notre Dame's chances of making the playoffs, where's it at? And Keith, I'll let you start it off.
I think it kind of depends on how the ranking shakes up with, obviously the situation with Clemson. So, in my opinion, I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm not sure how deep they'll go.
Brandon,
I think they get in with having beaten Clemson earlier this year, and Boston College is a good team. I think they're a couple of years away. They just have a really good coaching staff that can really provide some advice for that group. They're really young, but I think it all comes down to the ACC championship. If they lose, it's like a blowout, then I don't know if they actually get in, because people are going to look at this Clemson win and be like, well, they only beat him because they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, and so. But if it's close, then they definitely.
Yeah, man, I see Boston College as probably the 3rd best team in the ACC. I think they're a really strong, very, very hard-nosed team.
Over Florida State and then North Carolina?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I would take them. I just see them playing the top 2 dogs, Notre Dame and Clemson, much better than those other teams. I just feel like those other teams have a lot of hype, and they got the recruiting and the talent to go with the hype. I just don't think they deliver like a Boston College, who's more of a nose in the ground, do this hard work type of football play. But in terms of Notre Dame's playoff chances, I can see them getting in, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they don't make it, just because of the fact that I don't think Alabama loses a game from here on out. We could see what happens in the SEC championship game. Maybe Florida makes some magic happen. I just don't think Alabama would lose to Florida, especially in an SEC championship game. So if they stay number 1, I see Notre Dame still at number 2, Ohio State still at number 3, and Clemson at number 4. if it gets to the ACC championship game and Clemson has Trevor Lawrence back, I don't see Notre Dame beating them. And also, um, a team like the few teams on the outside, like a Florida or Texas A&M, Florida might get bounced if they lose to Bama, but a Texas A&M who probably won't go to the SEC championship game, but will still have that good record, that one-loss record. You could see them in there. You might even make a case for a Cincinnati team that is going berserk right now. I see them as like a UCF of a few years ago, a team that's really under the radar, but is really good and might make another case for being the best team in the nation if they mess around and don't make it in the playoffs. But I see Notre Dame being in the playoffs, but I see also a very good chance that they get pushed out if they lose significantly to Clemson in the ACC championship game. But on from that, number 10, Wisconsin routs Michigan, man. And we have some mixed feelings about Michigan. 49-11. Which team is a better test for Ohio State? Is it Wisconsin or is it Indiana? And Brandon, I'm going to throw it back to you.
I think it's Wisconsin. They're just a more proven program. Like I said, this is just Indiana. I feel like it's just the COVID year has really helped them look better than they really are. But Wisconsin has been a good program for the past 5 years, past 10 years really. But they've played very well over these past few games, and honestly, Michigan isn't really that good. They have not played as well as people would have thought they would have, and Jim Harbaugh is not he's not coaching well. That's just the fact of the matter. And Wisconsin's gonna I think they're gonna be the bigger test for Ohio State, but Ohio State still wins.
Heath?
I definitely agree with Brandon. Michigan, although Michigan doesn't look good right now, they put up a better fight against Indiana, and they lost to Michigan State. So I did kind of rank Wisconsin above Indiana. So I think the tougher test for Ohio would be Wisconsin right as of now. Jim Harbaugh, he's we know that he's a good coach,
Yeah.
but just these past couple of years, he just hasn't. I don't know if it's like a recruiting problem or he's just, but he's not in it. So
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
he just might be an NFL guy, just needs that great talent to great coach he is. I mean, I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. Is like I think he's just more of an NFL style coach, and he like college. It requires a lot of recruiting and being able to consistently bring in star players. In the NFL, you can just go out and say, "Hey, let's go pay this guy and get him on our team." So I think he is a more NFL style coach. So he'll probably get picked up unless this year goes completely horrible. Then I don't know if he gets another job.
Also, if you're in the NFL, you're definitely getting the cream of the crop players,
Yes.
and it's not reliant on recruiting. I mean, it is in some ways, but you're definitely getting the best of the best in terms of players because they've been through everything.
College does have talent. It's just got like a lot of raw talent, and it's a special coach that can teach raw talent, turn it into fine tuned talent. For me, I'm gonna also go ahead and agree with you guys. I don't think Indiana has played a team and beat a really good. Like I mean, they played Michigan, but it's like Michigan's not looking too good this year. They're like the state of the. They're another team like Penn State. But they haven't beat anybody that's like really be great. I don't think Michigan's pushing great. Wisconsin looks like they're really. Oh my bad. Wisconsin looks like they're really looking like a really good team, and they got the big linemen to run the ball however they want to. Any team in the nation. I just think they would be a tougher test to Ohio State, but I still think Ohio State runs whoever they play. But the last game we're going to talk about, and it pains me to talk about it, number 6 Florida pounds Arkansas, 63-35. Was this Heisman sealer for Trask. You know what I'm saying this because Trask he annihilated us like four or five touchdowns in the first half. Um, it was insane. So, what do you guys think, Brandon? I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, I think he has a case for Heisman. Um, with some big games coming down, like if he plays really well in the Alabama game, I think he has a shot at the Heisman. It just depends on how Justin Fields plays and how Trevor Lawrence plays whenever he comes back. Um, and honestly, and Mac Jones has been a very good QB as well. So I think he has a chance because of the big games coming up, but I don't want to say he can't. He's gonna win it.
I agree. Definitely agree with what Brandon said. Depends on the games that come up and how he performs. We obviously see like Mac Jones and Justin Fields putting up their cases for the Heisman, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much Trevor can make it in the race because of the games he's missed, but we will have to see on how the hype around him and the commission decides that, I guess.
He's missed some really important games. Like Boston College is a Boston College team. I really like this team. Also in the next so games on and they're in the ACC that didn't have too many great teams. Uh, and I know it's because of COVID. I mean, like you can't control that, but I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's really something you got to work through. But we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with sports. Sorry about that, guys. We had some technical difficulties, but we're right back with some more sports content, guys. So we'll do a quick segment. The best game of next week. What is it going to be? Is it Indiana versus Ohio State, Wisconsin versus Northwestern, Tennessee versus Auburn, or Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma? So, Brandon, I'm gonna throw it to you first. You tell me which game you think is going to be the best one of the week and why.
I think it's Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. That game is pretty much going to decide the Big 12 champion, and I think it's a great matchup. Obviously, it's a rivalry game, like in-state rivalry, and Oklahoma hasn't been like as good as people thought they were going to be, and Oklahoma State's really shocked some people. Their running back's really good, obviously, and Oklahoma has really struggled with the run, so I think he's going to have a big day. But I also think Oklahoma gets the win because that coaching staff is really good, and they've tightened it up over the past couple of weeks.
I think Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma would be a really, really good game. However, I keep having my eyes on Indiana and Ohio State because we definitely see some big playoff implications if Indiana does find a way to make this a tight game or somehow come out on top. But I think that game you would definitely want to keep your eyes out on Indiana and Ohio State. But Oklahoma State and Oklahoma is definitely also a very, very good game.
Well, my choice is actually going to be Tennessee versus Auburn. Not because of any playoff implications or anything like that. It's not a very important game. I just see it as being a very interesting game, a very close game between these two teams that I think are almost kind of equal. I think Auburn got lucky with a lot of wins. And if Auburn doesn't get lucky with those wins, they're just like a Tennessee team, a team that can kind of run the ball and a team that has enough to be a kind of pass threat, but not enough to be great in the SEC. I can see Auburn coming out with a win, maybe another controversial call. We don't know. We'll see what happens. But I can see Auburn coming out with a win in a close one, running the ball game, maybe low scoring, 20s, 30s, somewhere around there. But that was it for that one. Let's move on to something else we care about, and that's the NFL. NFL football coming up right here.